Hi, good morning. My name's Jan and I'm here to share a pose breakdown of half moon pose or Ardha Chandrasana. I find it particularly challenging. It's one that I work on quite a lot, and some days my balance is pretty shocking. So fingers crossed that's not today. So what you might need is a wall. So if you want to position your mat fairly close to a wall, it can give you the surety of having that wall behind you. So you can explore different aspects of rotating the shoulders and opening up the hips as we get into it. And 2 bricks, and I've got one at each end of the mat, just so that when I'm demonstrating, I've not got my back to you, which is probably a better thing. And we're going to be coming into a half moon pose from Trikonasana, from triangle pose. So we will spend just a moment to get that set up, and then slowly move from triangle pose to our half moon pose. And I say slowly because that's probably the biggest thing that helped me progress, is to slow what I was doing down, to put the pauses in at different aspects and different parts of the posture, to kind of really get my body to understand what it was I was trying to get it to do. Some days, as I say, it's not bad. Other days, yeah, a little bit more work to do, but that's yoga. So come to the mat, get your bricks set up. Hopefully you're a little bit warm, not coming into this from a cold start. And we'll come to the front of the mat, and I've already positioned my brick ahead of my feet, and it's off the mat for me. But you might find, and this is one of the reasons why we go slow, is that you'll have to play around with where exactly the brick is each time you come in, just while we're exploring and building a bit of confidence. And I'm reasonably close to the wall, just in case I get wobbly, I can kind of rest my shoulders against the wall and still stay in the pose a little bit longer. So from the front of your mat, let's bring the hands to the hips and find that feeling of Tadasana. So we want the head, the heart and the pelvis in one long line, and you want to feel like the sides of the body are long, and that's going to be a consistent theme, having a feeling of strength through the center of the body, a feeling of length from the crown of the head, and this idea that the crown of the head naturally grows out from the spine, both in Trikonasana and in our half moon pose. We want to make sure that the knees aren't locking, and that we can actually use a little softness in the knees to kind of help us be flexible in our stillness. Once we lock something out, it can feel really difficult to stay. So a little bit of softness through the knees at all times is encouraged. So bringing the hands onto the hips, take a big step off with your right foot and square the feet initially. So get that sense now of your Tadasana torso. And then we're going to turn out the left toes and turn the right toes slightly in. Take the arms out, reach forward, burying this front hip, and the back hip is reaching away from us, coming into our preparation for Trikonasana pose. A little softness through that front knee. And don't worry about coming so low here. If anything, come a little higher than normal, maybe to the knee or even higher, and then bringing that top arm up. We want to have the shoulders stacked. We want this top hip, it's kind of working back, but not forcing it back. And we want to feel like the sides of the body are long and the head is in line with the spine. Gaze in triangle pose is personal. For me, I quite like gaze down. For others, it's gaze to the side. And for some, it's gaze to the ceiling. And you've got this arm, top arm growing straight out from the top shoulder. It's not drawing back or drawing forward. Straight from the shoulder. So enjoy that feeling of stretch. Feel the sides long, tummy contained. And then here we go. So from our triangle pose, this top hand, bring it to your top hip. And then bring your gaze to your mat and maybe ahead of you. So find a fixed gaze point. Bend into your front knee until that front knee is over the ankle. That's going to be a key element of the next part of the pose. Step your back toes in so that you're not so wide and you can feel quite steady as we move forward. The brick is ahead of me. I'm going to take my hand to the brick and kind of make sure that it doesn't feel like it's too far away, but I've got enough space to kind of lengthen. And then I'm nipping my back foot in a little bit more, just because for my body that feels better, and you might have to play around here. So the reason for going slow is so you can notice those things. As I'm ready to think about the next stage of lifting the back foot, I'm going to bring the energy forward, keeping my gaze fixed, coming up on my back toes, but not yet lifting the back leg. Tummy is engaged here. Waiting for an inhale, I'm going to push lightly into my front foot, lift my back toes off the mat, and immediately extend into the back heel, flexing the foot. Now this might be your Ardha Chandrasana, or you might feel like you can push into your front foot and lift the back leg a little more, extending slowly. Keep the gaze down. Don't worry about anything else other than lifting the leg. And then for me, I rotate the shoulder. That's my next port of call for awareness. Rotating that top shoulder, keeping the gaze down, and the hips kind of follow. Final thing is to bring the top arm into play. So fingertips to the shoulder, and then bringing the arm up from the shoulder. Lengthening forward, little softness through that front knee. Inhale. Really well done. And then to come out, bend deeply into that front knee. See if you can lift your front hand off the brick just for a moment, extending forward as you reach back. And a moon landing into our reverse warrior. Well done. Exhale, widen, square the feet. Reach the hands to the hips. Take a breath. You might have been holding your breath. I know I do sometimes. Take a breath in and a breath out. Step the feet together. Give everything a little shake. Good, well done. Let's do the other side. So I'm going to walk to the other side of my mat. Bringing the hands to the hips, find Tadasana. And then take a step off with your left foot this time. Square the feet initially. Think about that Tadasana setup, head, heart and pelvis. And then turn out your right toes, turn in your left toes and take the arms out wide. Soften through the shoulders. Reach forward. Think about lengthening as you come down, keeping the sides long, head in line with the spine, top arm up. There's a softness in your posture here. It's not rigid and hard, but there is energy and length through the sides. As we think about our transition, the first order is to bring the top hand to the top hip. So you can kind of forget about this for the moment. The next is the gaze. Your drishti is going to help you find stability. So keeping your gaze consistent, bend into your front knee and step your back toes in. Think about your brick. If it feels too far, you've got time to adjust. Even nibbing in that back foot a little more. And then when we're ready, let's engage the tummy. Think about lengthening forward towards your gaze point, slowly coming onto your back tiptoes. Wait for an inhale and push into your front foot, lifting the back leg just a tiny amount and then flex out through that back heel. Keep pushing into your front knee, front foot, straightening out through the knee but not locking. And then with the gaze nice and steady, maybe rotate the top shoulder. Maybe bringing the fingertips to the shoulder and then lifting up. It just helps you know where the hand is without having to worry about moving the gaze. Embrace the wobble in the feet. Feel the shape that you're in. And then if you want to try coming out with a little moon landing, bending into your front knee, reaching the front arm forward as you extend back. Whoops, little wobble. Inhale. And then exhale. Good job that wall was there. Coming up. Well done. Exhale, hands wide. And release. Whew. Bring the hands together. Namaste. If you want to try this in flow, I'm going to put together a short vinyasa flow sequence, and we'll move with a little bit more slow flow into Ardha Chandrasana. So head over there if it's something you fancy exploring today. And remember, this is something that I've worked on for a long while, and I have mixed results day to day, but I definitely enjoy it. It's one of my favorite poses. So have some fun. Namaste.